Okay, recording this video on Sunday, the 24th of July, 2022. It's just gone 5:43 p.m. Chicago time. Do hope you are doing well. So this is our weekend futures market recap, where I go through 15 of the largest futures markets and show you what I am seeing on my charts. Before getting to the charts, though, big apology for not getting this video out sooner. Too much going on this weekend. Normally I record the videos kind of yesterday, but just had a super full weekend, and I'm having trouble recording this video, kind of getting all my thoughts together, so much so that the market has opened 40 minutes ago. The Globex market's kind of opened, and so you're going to see some green bars on these charts with the first bars of this Sunday evening's trade. So the 15 markets we're going to go through. We're going to go through some forex contracts. We're going to look at the euro, the British pound, the Aussie dollar, Japanese yen. Look at the biggest financials with the Emini and the 10-year notes. The precious metals with gold, silver, and Bitcoin. Bitcoin you could consider as e-gold. And then the largest commodities with the energy complex, crude, natural gas, and on the industrial side we got copper, and then the agriculturals we got corn, soybeans, and wheat. And all of these charts you'll see the simplified view of the better indicators with our kind of overbought, oversold system with some signals, and we'll see what is going on. So first of all, let's talk about the E-mini, because we had some signals on Thursday into Friday. We had a triple signal kind of midday on Friday, and that is from exhaustion by bearish divergence, so better momentum kind of peaked, which is one of the three non-correlated indicators. The second one, we're overbought on better sine wave with the background printed in grey. And number three, the blue professional bars have come in at the highs, and we've broken the trailing stop that trails behind the blue professional bars here, and that's given us our triple signal. So the triple signal has kind of gone off. We've got some weakness. What's happening with the first bar? We kind of started off strong on the E-mini here on the Sunday's trade, but we weakened a little bit, so we'll wait and see. So this is a little bit of a counter trend trade possibility for me, because I'm bullish medium to long term on the E-mini, and that is because we put in our BT hat signal, which is big things happen at triples, BT hat, HAT. A couple of days ago, 10 days ago here, with all supports kind of coming in here. Let me just do that so you can see they were all red on that bar. It was a second cyclical turn after end of trend on the lowest time frame here, which I like, which means the trendy activity has ended and we've gone through a little bit of cyclical activity. And when we have big things happen at triples, so we've got a big lineup here of the triple support, and this should play out pullback to end of trend on this highest time frame here. So these lines have crossed, and we need to cross on the high side here. So medium term for the next several weeks, months maybe, I'm kind of bullish on the E-mini. But that's not to say there aren't little counter trend moves. And on the 15-minute chart with Friday's activity, we ran into resistance on the highest time frame here. We put in a little pullback to end of trend. We were putting in a pullback to end of trend on the intermediate time frame, blue professional bars at the highs. So potentially a little bit of profit taking, but no exhaustion patterns up here and so on. So we'll wait and see. Breaking it down to the 13,500 tip bar chart, though, we do have some signals, and that will be a nice little stair-step trade there as we step this down with blue professional bars if this kind of continues to weaken. So we'll see if there's an opportunity to go short, Sunday into Monday there on the E-mini. So that's the E-mini. 10 years finally broke higher this week. We've been lining up for this for the last week and a half. So you can see here at the end of last week we had a whole bunch of signals, triple signals kind of going off. We had exhaustion sell and bullish divergence kind of come in. We had blue professional bars at the lows. We were oversold here again. We kind of ratcheted down through those lows, kind of faked everybody out here, and then we just rallied super hard from there. This little sequence of blue professional bars are gathering patterns. So we have a whole bunch of blue professional bars buying everything in the stack in anticipation of the breakout beyond a kind of congestion area. And this was the first kind of congestion area where we had highs being made here, and that was the first set of blue professional bars coming there. And then the next one here is breaking out above this kind of area of congestion. So gathering pattern, kind of getting the mood going. So Sunday's activity, we weakened pretty hard, but we ran pretty hard, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday in this trade. So that's the 10-year. Gold also signaled this week. So gold and silver, we're waiting for our triples, which exhaustion sell, bullish divergence, whole bunch of blue professional bars coming at the lows, and then we break the trailing stop, it's oversold, bang. We got nice little signals there, kind of Wednesday, Thursday, into this rally. So gold has seemingly bottomed at this point, and we're going to be going up until we see exhaustion buy. Interestingly, these exhaustion buys, we didn't see blue professional bars or exhaustion patterns at the lows here. Some blue professional bars picking it up at 1700, but no exhaustion pattern. And each of these ones that you see on the way are short covering rallies where they're kind of busting a whole bunch of trailing stops, people getting taken out of their short trades on these moves, and it's not until we see the exhaustion on the way down that the market actually kind of bottoms and we're able to rally from there. So gold has rallied, but silver has not. Silver, we do not see that pattern. We don't see blue professional bars at the lows. We don't see exhaustion sell down here. And in fact, what we're getting is kind of short covering, busting stops and so on, with people thinking that silver's going to rally because gold is rallying, and no, it goes nowhere and kind of weakens and goes down. And we've had some short signals here on silver. So it's interesting that the complex, precious metals complex, is moving in different directions. Bitcoin, let's talk that while we got it on the charts here. And we hadn't had signals for a while. Big swings in Bitcoin over the last couple of weeks, but we didn't have any signals. But this week we did. So kind of Wednesday, Thursday, here we had exhaustion buy, bearish divergence, flush patterns, some blue professional bars, not a heap though. But it wasn't until we had this retrace here where we had a classic kind of stair step down, blue professional bars kind of coming on the retrace, and we moved down. We had quite a lot of volume taken out with that exhaustion pattern, but because there were no blue professional bars at these lows on the retrace here. That's a nice pattern. I like that for a stair step trade because the professionals hadn't stepped in here. The first opportunity that they had after we had that weakness was to step in here and kind of sell it down. So we're weak on Bitcoin at the moment, weak on silver, but strong on gold, strong on 10 years. Weak at the moment on the E-mini, but that might be just a temporary thing. So let's look at some of our commodities. We've got crude. To start with, I had some really good trades 2 weeks ago here with these signals, bang into this move. There's a classic little stair-step trade, even though it was quite a long way from where the market had peaked there. Because we had no blue professional bars at those lows, that's good for a trade there, for a stair-step trade. Market trails down the stop, blue professional bars step in at that opportunity. I mean, it's just like that Bitcoin chart. We have an exhaustion pattern as well. But then we did rally quite strongly on crude, but for me the bottom is not in there, and so over the last couple of days we've had signals, triple signals to go short, exhaustion buy, bearish divergence. We've broken the blue professional bars kind of trailing stop. We've had some blue professional bars that are kind of coming at these lows and these ones here, so I don't know, it's not a proper bottom for me on crude, similar to the euro trade last week. For me that wasn't a proper bottom because we didn't see exhaustion sell and bullish divergence and blue professional bars at those lows. So for me, crude is still weak until we see those, but let's wait and see. So crude, natural gas on the other hand continues to rally and rally and rally. I mean, we had good signals kind of back here. This was really getting the move going, and any weakness that we had, the exhaustion patterns immediately kind of stepped in, held us there, and we rallied since. Sunday evening we're starting really strong on natural gas again, but we have put in bearish divergence. We have blue professional bars at these highs. Let's wait and see if 780 is broken for a kind of reversal here on natural gas. And then copper. What's going on in copper? Yeah, no signals last week and this week. So we're kind of settling in again. No exhaustion sell on the downside to bottom this, and in fact what we've had is exhaustion buy, some flush patterns and so on. So we're stuck in a range here, but we could easily weaken and go test those lows. And then ags. So ags continue to weaken. Ever since we had that gap up on the Sunday 2 weeks ago, we've had weakness in the ags. So corn continues to weaken down here. We are getting into exhaustion sell patterns, bullish divergence flush, but no blue professional bars. So that'd be interesting to see this week if we've gone too far on corn. Soy, again, the same thing. This was the gap up trade that everything weakened from. We had a little bit of a signal here, and I talked about that in last weekend's video, that potentially we had a signal going off, and it did go off this week. But it weakened. It never kind of went anywhere. We've reversed and gone the other way. So again, no exhaustion sell, no blue professional bars, really in the right direction. That's happening on the retrace there on soybeans. And then lastly on wheat. So again, like soybeans, we had the gap up. We had a false signal here, didn't work out, never kind of kept going, but we didn't have blue professional bars down here at the lows, and we weakened subsequently. But you know, we're getting into bullish divergence. Let's see if on the ags we get some blue professional bars kind of come in here, and it's maybe gone too far, and we get kind of reversal kind of signals on the ags this week. But in terms of the big picture here, what we're seeing, yep, we're a little bit of weakness in equities, but equities will kind of continue on. Definitely a change in tune on the 10-year notes, and that could be people signaling that, you know, the headlines all being about inflation are going to start to come off, and maybe the Fed was right that, you know, it is actually temporary, that it was only maybe a 6-month or so kind of phenomenon in headline inflation numbers, because we got all the ags are coming off, we got crude coming off, we got copper kind of coming off, and the Fed is maybe going to be forced to start moderate the rises in rates, and maybe considering cutting rates a lot sooner than people maybe have envisaged. So that's why the treasuries are taking off in anticipation of lower rates, and all of the commodity kind of complex is kind of moving down with crude, with copper, with the ags. So that's kind of the story that maybe kind of ties all of that together. When I talked about last weekend's video, for me the biggest takeaway would be whether the euro parity rally was a fake, and that would run out of steam and go the other way. So let's look at that on the euro. So this is the parity trade where we had euro USD hit exactly $1, and that was like a technical trade that we bounced from. But, you know, in retrospect, we had exhaustion sell, bullish divergence, and a flush pattern down here. So it's not unlike, you know, this area was holding, and then we finally went through a little bit of a clear out move, bang, and we've rallied from there. We just saw that a couple of charts ago. So this is kind of getting the move going, and a whole bunch of blue professional bars kind of coming in, and we rally and rally. So this went further than I expected. You know, at the end of last week we're at $1, $1.50, and we've gone up to $1.03. And we're kind of come into overbought at that point, but there's no exhaustion buy pattern up here, and all we're doing is pushing down and testing into here, flushing out people. So breaking back above 103 would be a confirmation that there is kind of a change in trend in the euro there. Would like to see some blue professional bars though come in to give me kind of confidence that that's actually what's going on, so be following the blue professional bars there. So that's maybe that, you know, this was actually a bottom, and we didn't come down and test and see blue professional bars right here at the low again. But we'll wait and see. If it breaks up through 103 and we see blue professional bars kind of leading the charge, that would be kind of confirmation that the euro is going higher. British pound, again, it's similarly kind of bottomed down there on that parity trade with the euro. One blue professional bar on that down there, that wasn't really enough for me, but it kind of rallied up to 120.5 up here. Again, waiting for blue professional bars to kind of signal which way this is going to go. We have had a signal here on Friday with this activity here, so, you know, if it does kind of follow the euro and break up through these highs, then that's going to be interesting. And Aussie dollar, and the Aussie dollar, again, this kind of it was like a sympathy kind of trade. That's that low, the parity, euro parity low, and it rallied on, and I didn't see enough there to bottom this market. We hadn't had exhaustion sell, we didn't have blue professional bars down there, but we did kind of rally, and we've not seen subsequently yet some blue professional bars taking profits up here, but that rally has being driven off the exhaustion sell pattern here. We got rid of quite a lot of sellers at that point, and that enabled us to rally on. And with no blue professional, no exhaustion patterns at the highs, that move isn't over. So interesting to see what's going on. Now, Japanese yen has been a roller coaster ride. Sunday last week, I was long the yen for whatever reason, because I didn't have signals, but I was long into that. I did take profits after Monday's trade. It did rally a little bit higher, but that's fine. So that was a bit of a fluky trade on Japanese yen, and we actually had some signals last week to kind of go short, but it refuses to kind of bend to the will of the better indicators. And exhaustion patterns here, getting rid of volume, and we've just rallied since. So for me, the story on the forex contracts, if we continue to rally above 103 on the euro, that'll kind of drag everybody higher, and the dollar index kind of lower. So let's wait and see if that happens. So at the moment, this is the most interesting trade for me, kind of short E-mini. Let's just see if that kind of has legs and goes places. Otherwise, I'll be waiting to see if we get that breakout through 103 on the euro, because that would drag all of the forex contracts higher, and that would be interesting too. And let's see if we get some kind of exhaustion patterns on the ags this week, and we get kind of reversal signals there. So there we go. Enjoy your trading. Again, apologies this video is out so late, but I'm looking forward to this week's trade and see what happens.